barriers, and industrial transformation require immediate attention and coordination action. I believe that the discussion held during the dialogue have provided us with a roadmap of collective progress. Pokhara, often celebrated as the tourism capital of Nepal, was proud to host this esteemed gathering. Beyond its scenic beauty, Pokhara embodies the spirit of collaboration, diversity and innovation, values and that resonate with the objectives of this dialogue. Event like this is not only enrich our understanding but also pave the way of deeper partnerships among academic institutions, policy makers, and stakeholders across the region. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to Tribhuvan University and Sichuan University for organizing this significant event and to all the participants for their invaluable contributions. Your presence here reaffirms the importance of the intellectual exchange and mutual meanings. As we move forward, let us remember that the strength of South Asia lies in unity. By working together, sharing knowledge, and embracing innovation, we can shape the future that is prosperous, inclusive, and sustainable for all. Thank you for choosing Pokhara as the venue for this important dialogue. I hope you have had memorable stay and will carry forward the spirit of this dialogue in your endeavors. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for your remarks. Now, for the final remarks for today's evening, I'm pleased to invite on stage Mr. Hari Prasad Odari, representative of the General Secretary of the South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation, SAARC. He will give a speech on behalf of the Secretary General of the SAARC. Please join me with a big round of applause as I welcome Mr. Hari Prasad Odari for his remarks.
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. It is my honor and privilege to address on behalf of the Secretariat of South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation, SAARC, the closing session of 2024 PEWA Dialogue. I thank the organizer for this opportunity and congratulate them for initiating this important dialogue focused on how South Asia can benefit from the evolving dynamics of industries, investment, trade, and economic interconnection. As seen in the earlier panel discussion, industrial transfer is the process driven by factors including cost reduction, market expansion, and the search for favorable regulatory environment. Investors also tend to seek locations with low geopolitical risk and strong economic fundamentals. The economies which have correct understanding of these forces adjust their fundamentals accordingly and advance on the path of industrialization and growth. There are success stories within SAARC region as well, be it the growth of textile industry, pharmaceutical, IT, or automobiles. Industrial shift enables the recipient countries to achieve higher growth, technological advancement, skill development, economic diversification, trade balance, among several other benefits. And this is what South Asia needs. This is the region that homes 1/4 of global population, mostly youths. The region still strives to free the sizable population from the pains of poverty and deprivation. More than half of South Asia's nearly 2 billion people live in rural areas, a significant number dependent on agriculture for livelihood. The share of industries to total GDP is less than 30%, and the much needed shift from basic agriculture to value-adding industry is just beginning to happen. To spur economic growth and reduce poverty in South Asia, industrial activity, particularly manufacturing, must expand. Services, of course, can spur growth, as evidenced by IT and tourism sectors in the region. However, manufacturing is deemed to serve as the foundation. The region's population size and the need for mass-scale job creation provide a big scope for labor-intensive industries. Time will come when the region will shift to capital-intensive industries and also R&D-based industries. According to the World Bank, South Asia remains the fastest growing emerging market. Not all SAARC member states are equally growing, but the region as a whole is achieving decent growth, mostly spurred by the growth of its biggest economy. According to the World Economic Forum, South Asia has the potential to become a hub of innovation in the fourth industrial revolution, due mostly to the young population's connectedness to the global technological development. So, the region has strong enablers for growth and industrialization, and formidable challenges too. One of the foundational objectives of SAARC is to tackle these challenges together and create a pathway to promote the welfare of the peoples of South Asia. This pathway involves deeper regional integration, better connection with intra-regional as well as global value chain, state-of-art connectivity infrastructure, and a smoother movement of goods and merchandise, thereby enabling the region to reap the benefits of global industrial shift. As expressed in the summit declaration, the SAARC leaders have the high vision of creating South Asia Economic Union through the establishment of a free trade area, followed by custom union, common market, and monetary union. Current reality may look otherwise, but the vision is still alive. Even today in SAARC, when the higher level meetings are yet to take place, there are groundworks ongoing in the area of trade facilitation, including rules of origin and custom cooperation. Efforts are also underway to finalize the agreement and promotion and protection of investment for the SAARC region. Need no mention that South Asia is deemed to be one of the least connected regions globally, which prevents the growth of regional value chain. Poor transport connectivity and infrastructure hinder intra-regional trade. Therefore, SAARC regional multimodal transport study was conducted with the assistance of Asian Development Bank in order to enhance overall connectivity within the region. The study is being updated to reflect the latest development and possibilities. Some other initiatives that deserve mention are SAARC Motor Vehicle Agreement, SAARC Railway and Regional Air Service Agreement, which are under consideration of the member states. With economic growth by 2040, the region's energy consumption is anticipated to increase by 70%. So, progress in regional energy cooperation is crucial to meet the growing demand and to boost up industrialization. Energy cooperation is the priority agenda in SAARC. There is a growing realization that if South Asia is to increase its presence in global supply chains, improving business environment is the first and foremost important step. Likewise, investing in infrastructure and human resources is important. Equally important is to give greater momentum to the economic agendas of regional trade, investment, and connectivity. For South Asia to grow and prosper, the imperatives that laid to the foundation of the organization and its expansion in the past 3 decades are still relevant. With this, I conclude and thank you once again.
Thank you very much, sir, for your remarks on behalf of the Secretary General of the SARC. Now we conclude with the remarks session. Now we are